Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Burcroft, Attorney Hitchcock, City Treasurer, and audience. Today's date is September 9th, 2019. Mr. Chair, roll call was taken at our special meeting at 7 o'clock, and we do have a quorum for this meeting.
Thank you.
The meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6, clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, warrant. 12 is communication, and number 13 is adjournment, and a motion be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented. Support.
Been motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes as presented, of agenda as presented. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth, Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 2, for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on September 3rd, 2019.
So moved for September 3rd, 2019.
Support.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from our regular meeting held on September 3rd, 2019. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
There were no special meetings held on September 3rd, 2019. There are no petitioners on the agenda. Number 4 is a chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At 7 p.m. tonight, we had a special meeting concerning our quarterly investment report from our Treasurer, Stacy Page. And at this time, the Chair going to recognize Councilman Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I'd like a memorial resolution for a bill. Kren. Someone expand on it.
Support.
Okay, unfortunately, Bill last week lost his battle with cancer after 2 years, and he bravely fought it. But most of us knew him as Reverend Bill in our town. And just to give you a little quick about his life, he was born in 1946. He was raised in Detroit. In 1965, he joined the Army. He served in Vietnam. Then he came back. He served 35 years as a minister in, I think, 10 or 15 of them were in this town of Romulus, and he was the director of the Romulus Chamber of Commerce, and we know he was a father and a grandfather, and he was a good man, and it's unfortunate that the Lord has reached down at the age of 72 to take him Bill from us.
Could I make a comment, Mr. Chairman, please?
Yes,
Just,
yeah.
Bill Kren was my pastor for several years at Community United Methodist. Great guy, spent time there. He also, after he left and went on to another congregation, we're blessed that he was able to do my daughter's wedding a couple of years ago. I think it was the last one he was able to do all the parts of the wedding and actually perform. So it was an honor to do that. My daughter had kind of grown up while he was at our church, so it was really nice. Went to the visitation. Great guy, you know, touched a lot of lives. I know he was there for my in-laws when they both passed. You could hear the story after story after story of how they touched his life. He was a huge Michigan fan, so I think it's pretty ironic. They had him in a scarlet and gray suit. I don't know if there was any thought into that, but someone's getting a last laugh. But he was a big U of M fan, and just a big guy in Michigan, even though he was born in Cleveland. He was a Detroit, went to Western High School, I believe it was, in Detroit, and all about Michigan, all about this region, and quite a loss, and just keep his family in your thoughts and prayers, please. Thank you.
Yes, Ms.
I just want to throw my 2 cents in. He was very involved in the Ministerial Alliance. He was the secretary. I filled his shoes. Had some big shoes to fill, taking over when he went on. Well, there was someone between me and him, but he initiated a lot of initiatives that we do in the Ministerial Alliance today that are still going on as it affects. So I just want to thank him for the standards he set, even in the Ministerial Alliance. Again, I had some big shoes to fill coming in as secretary, but he was a great example. I attended his Person of the Year, was it 2 years ago, I think it was, and was able to present a resolution on behalf of the Ministerial Alliance. So looking forward to that same pleasure, just a last tribute to him tomorrow at his funeral. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley. It was motioned by Mr. Wadsworth. It was supported by Ms. Roscoe for that memorial resolution for Reverend Crinn. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. That concludes the
Mr.
chairperson.
Barton, I have one other quick item. As we all know, Jan Lemon recently has had some medical issues, and for a couple of weeks she was in the hospital, but she's now back home and she's recovering.
Okay. Thank you,
We're
Mr.
thinking about you, Jan.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Okay, that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, and audience. Quote I brought kind of ties into something coming up next week. It goes as this: the secret to happiness is freedom, and the secret to freedom is courage. And I picked that one because this Wednesday is the holiday. It's a national holiday now that Congress passed for 9/11. So what we're going to be doing at the historical park downtown, about 8:30 for both employees, electeds, the public. Just a short program, please. We're just going to be there to say a few words, have a moment of silence at 8:45, wrap up, and I guarantee it'll be done by 9. But I think just a good way to remember the holiday, which it is, and to also remember the 9/11 of '01 that we all experienced. We do have a short video also with a couple things, if we could run that.
Hello everyone, I'm Mary Dreer, Director for the Downtown Development Authority, and here's what's coming up around Romulus.
Good afternoon, this is Fire Chief Kevin Kraus. I would like to invite everyone to a brief community memorial program that has been scheduled to remember those who were injured or died during the terrorist attacks in the United States on September 11, 2001. The program will begin at 8:30 a.m. at the World War I Memorial Flagpole in front of the Historical Park Pavilion on Goddard Road. The program will conclude with a moment of silence at 8:46 a.m. All community members are invited to attend this memorial.
The 22nd Annual Romulus DDA Pumpkin Festival is just around the corner. This year's dates are September 20th and 21st. This is a community event and there's a lot of great things happening throughout the weekend. There's something for everyone. The festival opens at 4 p.m. on the 20th. There will be food, crafters, music, kids activities, and more. The Romulus Rotary Parade of Lights will begin at 8 p.m. on Friday. Applications are now being accepted for parade entries. A list of guidelines can be found on our website. We have 2 new additions this year. The DIA will be providing materials to make paper flowers, and Hershey will be there with their mobile s'more station. Make sure to stop by to make your own s'more and take a picture with the giant s'more as well. The fun will continue on Saturday, starting with our Boy Scouts pancake breakfast, followed by the classic car show. Our vendors will be open from 11 to 8, along with music, karaoke, and the Pumpkin Pub until 1 a.m. For a full list of events, please visit www.romulusgov.com, click the Community tab, scroll down to the Pumpkin Festival link. Now here are some upcoming events from the Romulus Public Library.
Hi, I'm Jessica Wilhoit, the Assistant Director and Youth Services Librarian at the Romulus Public Library. On Thursday, September 12th at 10:30 a.m., we have our homeschool meetup. This is the first homeschool meetup, and early learning kits and Legos will be available during the program. Coffee and snacks will be served. This event is for homeschooling families. Come out and help plan what your children want to do for the rest of the year. On Monday, September 23rd at 5 p.m., we have our anime club. Watch anime, talk manga, and make candy sushi with us.
Hello, my name is Jake Rainicki and I'm the Adult Services Librarian at Romulus Public Library. On Thursday, September 12th, from noon to 4, we'll have some people from the Census Bureau signing up volunteers to help with the 2020 census. On Thursday, September 12th, later that night, we'll have our first craft club. You can bring your own crafts or participate in a craft provided. On Monday, September 16th, we'll have a speaker, Andrew Baczynski, for the Romulus Garden Club, Native American Vegetables in the Garden. The public is welcome to attend. That will be at 6:30.
If you happen to be in downtown Romulus near the Junction Sub on Thursday, August 29th, you may have noticed a large crane placing a home on a lot on Warman between Goddard and Bibbins. This is the first of several homes that will be available for sale in the city as part of a 3-phase project. ABL Properties, in partnership with Apex Custom Builders, Inovalab, and Champion Homes, are working together with the Michigan Land Bank and Wayne County Land Bank to bring these beautiful homes to our city. The home on Warman is the Madison model. It's 1,500 square feet, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath with an open floor concept. It was quite an experience to see this house come together in under 4 hours. Thanks, everyone. Remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more information. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you. Now I do have some action items under my report, Mr. Chairman. First is item A. What we have is a request. This is for a no-fee permit for St. John's Lodge number 44. And this is also a march that they're going to be holding. This is a march that will require the closure of 4th Street at Martin Street, south to Beverly Road, and west to Vinewood, ending at the Pentecostal Missionary Baptist Church near Wayne Road for a Americanism Day March. This is going to be at 1:30 p.m. And lasts no longer than 1 hour. It's Monday, September the 16th. This request has been reviewed by Public Safety, and they have no objection with the assistance of traffic as needed. And so I do believe that we have someone in attendance from St. John's that wanted to speak on it, and then I'll ask for the request in the form of a motion. Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, Madam Treasurer, Madam Clerk, good evening. My name is Curtis Hall. I am the Worshipful Master of St. John's Lodge number 44. With me is my senior warden, Charles Smith. And basically, Mr. Mayor, you've already said it all. We were just coming to ask for no fee permit to have our parade march. This is an annual event that is statewide. Prince Hall, Michigan's jurisdiction of Masons, and St. John's has been asked to host this year. And again, what we want to do is begin on 4th Street to Beverly, to Washington, to Vinewood, at Pentecostal Baptist Church, and from there, after the program, back to St. John's Lodge, Park number 1, okay. Repast picnic of the jurisdiction. So,
awesome.
We appreciate you giving us this time, and we appreciate you giving us the as well. Say, Senior Ward.
Well, I'd just like to thank each and every one of you once again because you've always been great supporters of St. John's Lodge. We continue to keep each other lifted up in prayer. My prayer is continuously that, of course, God will overrule our will that it might be used for His marvelous purpose. So as we continue to go on and walk, of course, we're blessed to be a blessing to each other. Just like to thank you once again for your support.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll move that we issue a no-fee permit for St. John's Lodge number 44 for, I believe, Monday, September 16th.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for no fee permit for St. John's Lodge number 44. Any discussion? Yes.
How long have y'all been doing this? I know this is your first year you've hosted it, but how long have y'all been doing it overall?
Well, no, this is actually our second year that we
Second.
hosted.
Yes, within the last 3.
Okay. 3 years you've been?
As far as the jurisdiction, it's been going on.
A lot of years. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you, City Council. Thank you, St. John's. Best of luck with the walk. The next item that's up for action is a request from Tanya Cofield, Recreation Department Coordinator. And this is a request to concur the administration, authorize a no-fee permit for the Romulus Housing Commission to use the Fernandez Park on October the 5th of this year from 1 p.m. till 3 p.m. for what's called a fun day at the park, a chance to come out and meet staff, commissioners, electeds. All are welcome, open to the public. This date has been confirmed, and it's available, and would love to get City Council support on that request.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion that we issue a no-fee permit for the Fun Day sponsored by the Romulus Housing Commission. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for a no-fee permit for the Romulus Housing Commission Fun Day. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
Yes, I would like to know, Mayor, is the Romulus Housing sponsoring this or paying for it?
The request came through them, yes, correct. Great chance to come out, have fun, and also all electeds and the public are also all welcome.
I would just suggest, especially since they're saying this a kickoff for a back to school, maybe next year they can plan it early so it can be before back to school. Other than that, I have no problem with it.
It doesn't. It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes?
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. The next is a concur with the recommendation of Roberto Scapitici, our DPW Director. And this is a request to concur with the administration, authorize the DPW to dispose of a 2003 GMC Savannah grounds van, which was totaled in an accident on the 15th of January of this year. And it will be go through Martin's Towing Service, who has offered to accept it for $250 for scrap.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the request for the disposal of the 2003 GMC Savannah grounds van.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for disposal of the 2003 GMC Savannah grounds van. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. Last action item is a budget amendment. This is a request for concurrence of the administration to introduce budget amendment 19/20-06, and that's to purchase a used 2016 Marquis Ford ambulance for the fire department. You see the attached memo and amount next to it.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and introduce budget amendment 19/20-2006. I'm sorry. I just jumped so many years ahead. Budget amendment 19/20-06 to purchase a used 2016 Marquis Ford ambulance for the fire department.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for the introduction of the budget amendment 19/20-06. Any discussion? Ms. Williams?
I would just like to say, before I can even make a call to the city to talk with either Julie or the finance department, Kevin Kraus called me, the fire chief, and he went through this tooth and nail, and so I totally support it also.
Okay. All right. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
That concludes my action items, Mr. Chairman. Also, we did have a swearing in today on the topic of fire. We had 3 new firefighters that were sworn in today. We still have 1 yet to go. But along with the equipment, we need qualified people, and we're looking forward to having a full slate of people to serve our public. With that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
And through the chair, if I may?
Yes, Ms. Webb.
Mayor, Kevin, thank you so much.
we have a female fire person at the fire department, and we females are so excited. Thank you, Kevin.
All right.
6 is the clerk's report, and I do not have anything to report this evening. Move on to number 7, which is the treasurer's report.
Thank you. Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, city attorney, and the audience. I have a few items under my report. This evening, like Mr. Barden had said, I presented the quarterly investment report for the months of April, May, and June. We are at or above benchmark and approximately $109,000 in interest for that quarter. Also, I'd like to remind everyone that summer tax bills are due on September 30th, so just keep that in mind. And then winter tax bills will be mailed out and should be received by December 1st. And of course, if you don't receive that bill, give me a call and we'll be happy to mail one out. And then finally, I'd like to wish my husband a happy anniversary, 24 years today, and counting, so.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Number 8 is public comment, and this is the portion of the agenda. For those of you that are in the audience, and if you would like to address city council, we ask that you raise your hand and acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. And also, please note the rules to address city council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. Further note that you have 3 minutes to speak. Any additional time after the 3 minutes must be upon consent of the chairperson. Again, you have 3 minutes to speak. If you need additional time, you must request that additional time from the chairperson. Mr. Chair, I have one written request at this time, and this is from Crystal Price.
Before, is this concerning anything that, from the presentation that you had last week, Ms. Price? Is this concerning anything from last council meeting that you was up
I'm
here?
here to speak, and what I need to say, I need to say.
Well, I'm telling you, if it's, you made a presentation to this council.
I didn't make
Wait
a
a minute, let me finish. I got the floor now. Please let me finish. Okay?
You go ahead and finish.
Thank you.
Okay.
You have made a presentation to this council at least 4 times on the same subject. You have provided documents on at least 2 occasions. The mayor has reported to this council as well as to the police department. And the city council, majority of the city council viewed, which was requested by Ms. Abdo and Ms. Webb for documentation. There's nothing to be served by additional presentation by you to this council. I'm satisfied. I don't know, I think that as chairman, and spoke to my colleagues, majority of the colleagues, that they no longer want to be on this subject. It's carried out its limited role on the date of your conviction in a professional manner and did not violate any laws. If you have any additional concerns, you should bring those to the attention of the state administrator office, which has supervisory responsibility over the 34th District Court. Now the council, let me reiterate this, the council, majority of the council, don't want to hear anything more on this subject. If you do, I'm gonna have to and go to the next. I'm sorry. If you want to speak to them separately, that's fine. That's fine if you want to do that. Proceed.
My name is Crystal Price, and I am a resident of the city of Romulus. And I have a right to stand up here and say what I need to say. And I'm going to say what I need to say. Okay? No. No. You've tapped your tap. It's
No,
my turn to
we-
talk, Chair,
No.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, Oh, go ahead, talk.
Yeah, she has a
Counsel,
right.
why don't you-
She got 3 minutes, so
Oh,
let her
okay.
say in her 3 minutes.
Okay, you got 3 minutes, Ms. Price. I apologize, you got 3 minutes, okay? And that's
No
it.
need to apologize.
Just 3 minutes.
I am addressing this to start over. I am here before this council, our council, tonight to request a release of my vehicle from JT Cova Towing. I was misled that my car was auctioned off on March 27, 2019. According to the local newspaper, The Eagle, holding up the paper, my vehicle was listed to be auctioned off on March 27, 2019, but it was not. After a resident forwarded the local newspaper to me, I contacted JT Cova Towing with an attempt to retrieve my vehicle. I was hung up on with no resolution in getting my vehicle back. I contacted the mayor, chief of staff, and activist David Holtz. Mr. Holtz had a meeting with the mayor. And Mr. Holtz is here today, so he can tell you what that meeting was about. Concerning this disturbing information after the city attorney, Stephen Hitchcock, sent me a letter confirming that my vehicle is at JT Cova Towing, yet they still refuse to speak to me. Since this company has a contract with the city of Romulus, I need someone to speak on my behalf with J&T Cova. With no further delay, I want to retrieve my vehicle, but need your help in doing it.
Is that it?
Yes.
Ms. Williams, you had something?
Yeah,
Yes.
I wasn't familiar or aware. Was that printed in the paper that her car was auctioned off, and then Mr. Hitchcock, you informed her that it wasn't, it was still there?
No, I didn't inform her. I told her it was there long before there was an auction. But I don't know what happened in that auction, because that wasn't done by the city. The city had no role in any auction. You'd have to ask Mr. J.T. Crovo what he did by way of any procedure he used to do an auction of the car. So we had no role in that.
I'm not saying the city had a role. I'm asking you because Ms. Price just stated that you sent her a letter stating that her car was still there after it was already printed in the paper that it was being auctioned off.
May 6th.
I didn't know anything about any auction until maybe a week ago. So I wasn't referring to any auction.
So you're saying you received a letter from the city attorney saying that it was there?
Yes, he says on May the 6th, I received a letter from the city attorney, Stephen Hitchcock, and he says, to the best of my knowledge, your vehicle is still located on JT Cova property. On May the 6th. My vehicle was auctioned March 27th.
It was auctioned?
That's what the paper says. That's what it says.
Mr. Wadsworth.
I think what you're showing us is the public notice there was gonna be an auction. And it appears, because that's the law, that they have to publicize it. It appears that your vehicle was not purchased at the auction, so it must be back at Provo still.
I don't know what it appears because, like I said in my letter, every time I call Cova to find out information on my vehicle, they hang up the phone on me and won't give me any information. I've never been able to get any information on my vehicle from Cova.
I think that Provo should tell her either he has the vehicle or he doesn't have the vehicle. That's all I can say about that.
So,
Mr. Chairman, that'd be a matter between her and JT Crova. That's what that would be. It's not a city matter. So I can't speak to what a paper printed or didn't print. I can tell you that we didn't authorize it. I was clear on that. You know, her issue would be between JT Crova and herself, and there's a process in the court to handle it.
It says on this document, these vehicles were towed by Romulus Police Department. it is your issue.
No, that's not. That's not
Through the
accurate.
chair,
We
if I
covered
may.
that last
Yes,
week. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Ms. Webb, and then we're gonna. Go
Well,
ahead,
let's
Ms.
go
Webb.
back, let's go back to last week, because this is really,
Right.
getting,
Yes, let's go back.
well, first of all, I didn't know about that information that you had. When I requested for the administration, for the mayor to investigate the allegations of our police blocking your vehicle in, et cetera, and then I have great empathy for you, and I know all of us up here do, and we do understand. But our Mayor Pro Tem did say in the conversation with you a few minutes ago in regards to what we spoke on last week. You weren't here, but the police department did, we did view a video, and it did have our officers there who were very, very professional and very kind to you. They even offered to do things, and it showed where even one of the officers asked if he could help you move your vehicle. After saying that, I'm saying this. Do you know, I'm asking you a question, do you know if your vehicle is still at JT Crover? You don't know that, correct?
No.
You don't
at
know
this
that
point,
it's
no,
still
I
there?
don't. No, I don't.
Okay, so, but getting back to the city, the police officers did not tow your car. They did not, our police department did not tow your vehicle.
Well,
But that JT Crover or whoever, I don't even know who told it. Also, it was brought up that there was, the towing service was using the city letterhead. But they have not.
okay,
That's just a form, but you need to clear up whether your vehicle is there first. We don't know where your vehicle is.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, our police did not do that.
okay.
It was a court order. We didn't have anything to do with towing
I,
the vehicle. But I do understand if we have a contract with a towing company, yes. But we don't have that information.
Okay, and you know, I came here to ask for my car to be released because I you know, since you brought this up about last week, I don't. I am demanding to rebut. I am asking for you guys to help me get my vehicle released. My vehicle, Tova said that they auctioned off my vehicle. I have it here in the newspaper. The city attorney says my car is on the property.
Tell me this. Tell me this, please. What do you want us to do that we cannot do anything? What do you want us to do? Take this, beat somebody over the head? I mean, we don't have no authority.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I've come here.
I know you've been here 4 times.
I've been here several times.
Right.
And let me ask you, why do you refuse to hear and see that you are already in receipt of the evidence and the proof? Why do you refuse?
I don't know. Well, I'm telling you, this
I
is
need
a
to
court's matter, and then we got a minute and 55 seconds. Go ahead.
I just want to say this to you, Mrs. Price. I
Minute
understand
55
what you're
seconds.
saying. You're saying, you're asking us if we could maybe intercede
Yes.
with Crover. I don't mind calling Mr. Crover. I know him personally. So, I mean, it's nothing else the council, they're saying that they can do. But to get your car back, if you are only trying to get your car back and nothing to do with your other property, then I will make a call to him. If nobody else here, choose to do that, I will do that, because you are a resident, and as a council person, we should do whatever we can that's by law, and making a phone call is not against the law. So, we can cut this off because, Mr. Barton is looking at the time, so.
Mr. Chairman, my only comment I want to make is that Ms. Price has a pending lawsuit against J.T. Crove in the 34th District Court right now with respect to her car. I think the court's going to decide if he has to give it back or not.
You know what?
Excuse me, Ms. Price. And to that statement, City Attorney, there's been a lot of conversation, even though lawsuits have been on the table in front of a judge. If there can be something worked out even before that court date, you're talking about, from what Ms. Price sent to me, 5 weeks. 5 weeks from now. That's a long time. That's money constantly adding up. So if it's long as it's not against the law, I don't see a problem with it. So Ms. Price, that's all, that
Thank
can be
you.
offered to you.
Okay.
So you will be willing to call on my behalf to.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Price. Mr. Wadsworth?
Just, it's been almost 11 months. You may not even own this vehicle anymore if it's gone to the amended vehicle law, state of Michigan. I'm just saying this.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying. But you know what? I also say this to City Council. You have a lot to say. You talk the talk, but you're not walking the walk. I've come to you, and I've come to you desperately to ask for your help through this whole process, and all I've been doing is being blocked. And now I'm really being blocked because what happened last week to me, my integrity and my character was questioned, and I am going to defend my character and my integrity.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you, Ms. Price. 3 minutes up, I gave you ample time. I appreciate Ms. Williams said she would make a call for you, and we're gonna move on. Would you move on, Ms. Next? Thank you, Ms. Price.
That was the only written request, Mr. Chair.
Any other comments from the audience? Mr. Miller?
Jesus.
I came here with the intention of reading something in regards to the charter. I've been coming to this city council for many years, many years. I was an elected official and sat in the chair that Miss Talley now sits in. And I find it disgraceful the way this council has treated Miss Price. It doesn't matter if she wants to come here every week and say exactly the same thing. Nowhere in this paper says that she cannot discuss the same thing over and over and over again, as long as she has an issue with it and as long as that issue has not been taken care of. Whether on her end or your end is not the issue. The issue is this administration has tried constancy since his election to stifle the voice of people who come up here. I've seen it before. Now, you said a few weeks ago, I'm going to use this camera a little more.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. You know why? Because you don't want people coming up here telling you what you are doing. I got time.
Okay.
Hey,
You got
I
a minute and
got time.
35 seconds. Go ahead.
And it's time you people understood that you were elected for these people. You were not elected to serve that man. And that's what you've been doing. And you ought to be ashamed of yourselves. And I hope as this situation continues, that people will take a look at it and see what they need to do. And I hope they do it well next time, because they did a lousy job last time. Thank you.
Thank you, former Councilman Miller. Any other comments from the audience?
Oh, Jesus.
Boy, I guess the temperature, well, go ahead.
My name is Marjorie Kelsey, and I'm here to speak about, I guess, the council and our city leaders. I did read that letter too, okay? And CROVA is city agency. I mean, is it supported by the city of Romulus besides it just being contracted by them? Okay, so they didn't, I'm just gonna say then they had no right to tow the car because the direction has to come from the police department, then to CROVA, not like he said on the video, from CROVA to the police department. You know, that's Michigan statute laws, Michigan code law. So you guys were wrong on the video on that one. I'm a citizen. I've been one for over 60 years. And what I see going on here, I know Romulus people are not, they're real passive people, but they're not stupid. They're very intelligent people. And that's what I'm asking you to be today, is intelligent people. Please, if you allow yourselves to be dictated to, the next generation coming after you will allow the same thing. I know a lot of you. I know you have a voice. I know you're intelligent. I went to school with some of you. I'm asking you to stand up. If nothing else, stand up. If you have integrity, please stand up. Because it's hard today, but maybe one of you tomorrow. Plain and simple. This is an injustice being done, and I'm really ashamed to be a citizen of Romulus at this time. I didn't vote for any of you to be on there. Some of you I wouldn't have never voted for. Some of you I will probably vote for next time it comes around. But if you don't have integrity, you're not worth 2 cents being up there. You're here to serve us, to help us work through the issues with the city. This is the city of Romulus. This is not Detroit, and I truly don't want to be Taylor. This is Romulus, and the people have always stood together, and I'm really not getting it right now about us, the city of Romulus, the people of Romulus. When I come up, people had integrity. They didn't just bow down. They stood for what they knew to be right and just. And it's a terrible legacy to leave for what the next generation coming around. People who don't have, excuse my French, balls to stand up and do what's right.
Okay, thank you.
Is that my time?
Yes,
Thank you,
please.
sir.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Yes, sir.
Hello, Mayor, Council. My name is David Holtz. I live at 3872 Houston. Usually when I come to this, I try to listen more than talk. Probably good advice for any leader. But I was invoked by Mrs. Price, so I figured I might as well clarify. What I did when me and Mayor Burkroft met together, we talked about several issues, especially about how to contribute to the community. I did bring up Mrs. Price's case, and all I suggested was to try to be a mediator, that I would call them, see if I can get them to sit down and come up with a deal that probably no one would like, but probably be fair for everyone. They had no intention of doing that. In fact, they tried to kind of play games a little bit about if they had the vehicle or not, where it was it destroyed already, was it scrapped? You know, we had no idea. So they really had no intention. So I welcome Ms. Williams to call them and try. But they did nothing more than mock and kind of blow it off. So I don't know if that's going to solve the issue. But people do have a right to come here and talk. And what we do need is empathy, because without a car, you really can't have a job, really can't have a home. You really don't have much feeling of a human being when you lose those things. So this is about, holding on to the American dream. This is the first time in history that we actually have a generation next to us that's going to have a lower quality of living than what we have right now. We need to improve those things, and it starts with leadership. Now, I don't know what you guys can do. I don't see you necessarily as enemy. We do have a towing company here that I'm sure you do have some influence with. They seem to be the problem here. Most of this has to go through the legal system. I understand that. So I just want to clarify what's been done and my position on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? No other comments from the audience? Let's close that part out.
Number 9 is unfinished business.
Mr. Chairman, I want to
Yes.
say something under unfinished business. You know, we have a person come up and make wild accusations for weeks.
Yeah.
Council asked me to provide facts. We did that. Made false allegations about our police department. You heard from our police department. You had documentation. You know, talk about integrity. We have the right to defend the integrity of our city and of our department and of our officers and of the process. There's not one person up here that doesn't want to see that person get their car back. They're at the wrong meeting. That's the problem. It's not about what they can keep coming back and saying over and over again. That's insanity. You need to go to the office that oversees that, which is the court. It is not our authority, as you heard loud and clear, as we talked about last week, to overturn anything that the judges have done. It is not our authority to tell a private company that was ordered by the court to tow a vehicle what to do. That has no tie-in with the city whatsoever. So to come up and make allegations and want to defend integrity, we have the ability. We need to defend the integrity of our city and of the officers and of the process. There are matters before the court right now that we shouldn't be talking about. That's not our business. It's not our authority. Read the charter. Read the authority that's given to us by the state as a city. So, yeah, we'd love to help people. And it's not about not helping people. It's about knowing what our responsibilities are and doing the best for all the residents that are here. If someone wants to come up here and talk about a city council topic, keep coming up. If we're not getting it right, bring it up again. If it's something about the administration, bring it to us. We'll find a solver. We'll get to the facts. This has gone way beyond facts. This has gone to accusations, false statements, and I don't appreciate it. We're here to serve. Council asked me. I provided documentation. I provided video. You were more than satisfied with that answer. To me, this is ridiculous that this is continuing to go on. And if week after week there's going to be some other question, I'm not going to quote what happened in a newspaper. This is a free press. I don't have any control of what the newspaper said or did not say. What I will do is make sure we're fair with the residents. We're trying to help the residents. And if it's within our authority, we'll be happy, Mr. Chairman, to find a conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any more unfinished business?
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Based on what the mayor's statement, we as a city has not always been fair. Just one of the pictures that was showed up, it showed from inside of the house where no car was blocking her car, and I'm just going based on the pictures that I received. There was a car blocking her car. She never said to me or any of the documents that Ms. Price gave me stated that the Romulus police was blocking her car. Now, as the mayor, any business in this city, you can talk to them. If something is not right, she shouldn't have to go to the court. If it's a contractor that we have with the city of Romulus that is doing something, that they put it in the paper, they were gonna sell the car, then they didn't, and someone went and talked to them, and it's a back and forth thing. It's a simple solution just to go to them and say, hey, what's going on? To wear our feelings on our sleeves is totally unacceptable. To say a resident coming up here and saying something because we don't like what they're saying is ridiculous. Because a resident can come up here and say whatever they want to say as long as they're being respectful. And we have to deal with it. We was not elected to sit up here and act like Trump. I'm just gonna put it out there. Whatever somebody say we don't like, we want to come back at them. That's not fair. This is America, and people have a right to complain, whether we want to hear what they have to say or not. They have a right. And to not want to listen and make excuses, to me, that's ridiculous. That is unfair. And we can't sit up here and say that we are Christian folks when we don't even have a heart to listen. We want to shut them down. We want to tell them what they can say and do. Just because we don't believe what Ms. Price had presented doesn't mean she's wrong. It doesn't mean she's wrong. And yes, it's another avenue she needs to take. But when it comes to this car and what she's presented, I know what I have from Mr. Bocan, it's worth looking into. I'm not saying that we can do absolutely anything, but it is at least worth looking into. So to talk to any resident, whether they like us personally or not, to talk to them in such a disrespectful way, where you come up here and you lie on us, so we gonna get you back, that is totally unacceptable to me. We are not supposed to be sitting up here wearing our feelings on our sleeve. If somebody say something we don't like, we are supposed to be big enough to swallow it. If it's not true, just let it blow it off. Just blow it off. But I just don't agree with the mayor, some of the things that you say to certain residents as if it's the gospel and they have to take it. I don't agree. I don't agree with Mr. Barton, the way that he tried to tell Ms. Price that she can't come up here. She can come up here to hell freeze over and talk about what she want to talk about under that 3 minutes, whether we like it or not. This is a meeting for the general public. This is just not our meeting. And as mayor, as much as you talk during our meeting, it's not the mayor's meeting, it's the council meeting. You talk more than we do. I'm done.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Please.
You finished, Ms. Williams?
I'm done.
I would just like to say one thing. Sitting on this council, us 7, we have done just about everything that we could do. I've asked for the reports. We've received the packet from Mrs. Price. We've gone through all this information. And as far as I'm concerned, we started off on the wrong foot, and that was the foreclosure, of which we could not help you with. And I think that's what happened, because it was not the city's place. It was the courts. We had absolutely nothing. And then when you came back again and you were mentioning our police department, I requested the mayor to have the police to report, and they did to us. And now it's about the car being impounded. I think that's the word you'd use. And you can't get any information from the towing service. And no, I'm just making a comment, and I'm looking at you to make sure that I am stating this correctly. And so we, as a council, we respect our residents. We're going to continue. I do. But the thing about it is, what we can do now, since I didn't really know too much about your vehicle being the other week when you were here, you mentioned it, and you mentioned March, but I did not know that you had called the towing service and they would not speak with you in regards to your questions. Also, I had no idea that you were in court with the towing service. So this puts us in a bind as the legislative body of the city of Romulus, but we cannot interfere with what is going on within the 34th District Court. We don't have any power over that. Our power is over our residents, our city. But as far as it being in the courts now, we really and truly, and it doesn't sound good, but we cannot go forth with trying to tell the 34th District Court what to do whenever there's a lawsuit. Our hands are tied on that matter. And I know it doesn't sound good, and like I say, I have empathy for you because it could be me tomorrow or someone up here. But it's just some things that the council cannot do, and when it's in the courts, we cannot do it. And I think Councilwoman Williams, she wants to call the towing company, and that is her right to do so. But as far as this entire body, we cannot step up to the plate in front of you to tell the courts what to do. And I know it sounds bad. I mean, I feel bad. And yes, you need your vehicle, but it's out of our hands. And I don't think us saying that would put a label on us, nor on me as being rude, cruel, and not have empathy for you, because I do. It's just that there's nothing that we can do, nothing. But we should not be rude to you.
John?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
Just a quick comment. I, again, have read all the documents. I seen the tape last week, and unfortunately, there's nothing at all that we can do for Mrs. Price. But I do feel that anybody that comes here and has the right to talk at the podium, and we can't dictate to them what they can or can't say. Thank you.
Is there any more unfinished business? Number 10 is new business.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I can, Mayor, on Pennsylvania Road between Inkster and Middlebelt, we have two subdivisions down there, and I have got numerous calls that the weeds on the Romulus side of Pennsylvania need to be addressed. And I went down there a couple of days ago, and they're like 10 or 12 feet high.
Okay, we'll get a request on it.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Any more new business?
Ms. Williams.
I would just like to give thanks to Exquisite Cuts, Willie Hodges. When they offered to do the cut for cops, he actually cut 24 young men's hair, and one of them was my nephew. He was able to fit that in along with his regular schedule on that Friday. So I just want to say thank you to him.
Okay. Thank you.
Number 11 for approval is warrant 19-17.
We got communications, don't we?
You missed it.
No, right now we're at
Oh, okay.
number 11
That's
for
last.
the warrant.
Okay.
Communication is number 12.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. We're at number 11, approval of warrant 19-17.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 19-17 in the following amounts. General Fund, $20,430.50. Major Street Fund, $11,513.78. Local Street Fund, $5,123.16. Public Safety Fund, $15,151.72. Cable TV, $95.23. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $5,423.59. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $1,223.80. CDBG, $322,204.84. 9/11 Service Fund, $2,720. Library Fund, $1,875.32. DDA, $20,865.31. Tifa District 2, $2,538. Beverly Road Special Assessment District, $86,120. 2014 capital improvement bonds, $22,675. Water and sewer fund, $677,701.84. Motor vehicle, $11,296.77. Technology services, $31.98. Retiree insurance benefits, $182,877.68. Revolving fund, $8,731.61. Current tax, $18,881.21. Payroll fund, $226,154.08.
Total of all funds, $1,643,635.42.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 19-17 for $1,643,635.42. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant number 19-17 will be paid.
Number 12 is communication.
moved.
Sorry, we changed it, didn't we?
Just a little
A
bit.
little bit, okay, okay, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead. Ms. Talley?
Couple of things. I just want to make my comments. I've heard a lot about being rude and different things about the council, and I just want to say this. Being rude is a two-way street. Before I even got on council, I used to come to the city council meetings, and I would see the attacks on the council. And I was like, wow, attacks on the council. And then as I got up here, it's been several attacks on council since I've been on council. And I'm like, wow. So I'm just saying that all to say, and I can only speak for myself. We are put here as elected officials. I get a package every week. I go through my package every week. I'm informed of what's going on in my package every week. And I'm very clear on what I'm voting on every week. And so I say all that to say, when we talk about doing what's right, or what we say and what we do is right, we vote on what we have, the information we have, because we do have additional information that the people are not aware of, that the residents do not have. And we vote on the information based on our package that we get and that keeps us informed. So and I can only speak for myself, I vote on that information, and if it supports the administration because it addresses the things that we're voting on, that's how I vote. Because I have the information, I'm informed. And then I ask the questions. If there's a gap in any of the information that I have that I don't understand or I have questions about it, I ask the questions. And then I make an informed decision after that. And I go to the city, I go to administration, and I ask my questions, and they fill in those gaps for me so that I have and make an informed judgment on what I'm voting on. And so, with that being said, we've heard Ms. Crystal Price several times in the last several weeks, and we listened. And then we had a presentation by our police department, and very much summed up a lot of things that may have been maybe misinformation or misinformed in that presentation that cleared up a lot of things. Again, if there was any confusion on the information we received, we got clarity at the last meeting. So I'm saying all that to say, when we talk about integrity, when we talk about attacks on the council and being rude and all this, rudeness is a two-way street. I don't really see a lot of people on the council being. It's a two-way street. It's not tolerated on any side. It needs to be kindness across the board. So I'm saying this all to say, let's all be kind and let's address the matters as they are. Again, for me, I read my package. I'm informed of what I have. If I have questions, I take up some questions with administration and with administration, get those questions answered to clear up any confusion, and then I go from there. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley.
Is there any more communication? Number 13 is adjournment.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned.